honk. That should work as a... Okay. Nope. I gotta do this. I gotta do it. I have to make this. I don't want to make it, but I have to make it. Hey guys, and welcome to the second post-mortem. As you can probably guess, I'm not happy about having to make this one because a lot of things got in the way of this one. But I'm gonna be as honest and concise as possible about this post-mortem. But I will say, started a job last week, and so I did not get nearly as much done in this game as I wanted to get done. But we'll go over what the game was, and we'll do the same thing as last time. I'm gonna go over I'm gonna go over things think I did well, then go over things I did poorly, things I can improve upon, and things that I think were pretty good. And then after that, I'm probably gonna say all the things I wanted to add, but didn't have the time to. Which is just weird, right? So there's a week-long game jam. I'm probably gonna start rambling here. I might cut this out, I might not. This is a week-long game jam. You think, oh, I'm going to have a lot of time. But then you're like, oh, I started a job this week. So you're like, I don't have as much time as I really wanted. I'm probably going to, oh my God, I'm going to take the mic a little farther from my face. But you're like, oh yeah, I have so much time on my hand. And you're like, no, you have no time. You have maybe, you have maybe a couple hours that you thought you had that you don't. So like I said, I'm not particularly happy about this game off the front end, especially because the last game I made in 48 hours, I knew it wasn't going to be all that great, but also I didn't have a lot of plans for it. It was kind of a last minute decision that I made to change the game up completely. This game I had an idea for. I had a design for that I really enjoyed, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. I didn't originally type it down, but I wrote it on my whiteboard, but I'm going to type it so you guys can see what my plan was, and then how all of it spiraled out of control the second I took a job. Like, the second I started working, all of my design decisions just spiraled out of control until I had no, ability to put any of what I really wanted into the game. At this point, I think I've played a couple other Bracky's 2020.2 game jam games, and they're pretty good. Some of them are on par with what I made, so I don't feel as bad. But we'll see when the ratings come out. I think I only have one rating so far. That's fine. I'm probably not gonna advertise the game to other people because I'm just not happy about it. But that's fine. We'll see. But yeah, let's get on to it. I put all the credits for the music and the art in my descriptions. So yeah, but instead of jumping into it, I'll show you guys how to go 30. So So basically, single key. As you can tell, the lights are they only work on different inputs, and it'll play a rewind sign or rewind sound. And then of course you got different puzzles here. Let's just stop, so it's stopping the music, so that we know where to stop. Because I don't want to. Alright, now. My mic is in the way of the other key. There it is. We want to stop the recording there. This key needs to be pushed. doing the thing. It's doing the backwards thing. Crap. There we go. Oh wow, it's not actually. Wow, it's not doing movement. That's crazy. There we go. Crap. Okay. Alright, now let's see. We can make this jump. Maybe we'll choose that last part. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ah! Alright. We're just staying here for a little bit. It's still recording. Now we're good. There it is. That should help. So, because we're still on. Should stay on the. No. Oh, no. No. Ah! Alright. And there we go. That's essentially the game. That's it. That's the game. It's not a bad concept. Well, as you probably saw in the beginning, I had the little water dropper guys, and when you rewound, you actually collected them. That was supposed to be part of. Hold on, let me go ahead and just open this doc here. So here is essentially what I had down on my whiteboard when I started. I make sure that the tapes control when the player starts to input, stops an input recording, rewinds an input recording, and clears it. That got completed. 10 puzzles, which I didn't finish 10. I think I got to 6. And the first one isn't even really a puzzle. It's just to show you. It's just to show you how it works. Different keys depending on what must be gained different ways. So I had the key that you push and pull that you can't just collect, that you have to be in rewind state to actually collect. And then there's a hidden key that you have to be in rewound state just to see. In fact, that's when you saw that when I went from 1 key to 2 keys, because the blue cassette right next to it is a hidden key, and then you can just, once you hit the rewind, you're right next to it, you can immediately get that hidden key. But if you didn't know that, then you would probably jump over the rewind, and then you wouldn't see it until you're already next to the rewind key. So it's still easy to get, but it's not bad. But I was hoping to add other different types of keys, like keys that you can only see when you're stopped or when you're in play mode or stuff like that. Enemies that take advantage of various states. As you can tell, there were no enemies. Didn't get to that in time. Obstacles that you cannot avoid if rewinding. You saw the little swords come out of the ground. That was one of them. But then I was also hoping to have like a hand of the DJ come down, and some other stuff too. And the collectibles, didn't even get around to that. But essentially, those are the things I'm complaining about a little saltily, if you can tell. But that's mostly on me for not being able to put a schedule enough time for. Excuse me. Not being able to schedule enough time around the game jam to actually be able to complete that stuff. So it's on me. But as for what I like about the game, what I don't like, I do like a couple of the features I did add. I didn't notice a lot of actual people using rewinds in the game jam games I've played so far. I haven't played that many. I've only played about 10. Like, no one's using input recording yet that I've noticed, a lot of rewinds are just going back to the beginning, but I'm actually using the player's input, and actually using it to go backwards to what they were doing. So like, it's not moving, but it is putting in the location and saying, oh hey, if there was a trap here and you didn't know there was a trap here, you're screwed. But there's no lives, so you can just replay the level, so it's not that big of a deal. Just kind of learning through doing, and then once you've noticed there's a trap there, like which level was it? I think it was where is it? Yeah, this one right here. This one I designed specifically because I was like, okay, I need a level that can teach them why stop is important, right? And they're not gonna get that on the first try. They're just gonna say, oh, I'm just gonna run all the way to the key and then run back. Or, oh hey, like that was my big issue with this in the beginning, is because I was like, they're just gonna run through the stop because they're not gonna care. Like, people are just gonna run through it and be like, here we go, we're fine. But I made sure that you can't clear this jump of 3 without, hitting the stop. You just can't. You can't clear that at all. You need to hit the stop, hit 1 or 2 of these, jump over, and then jump back. Otherwise, you'll probably die. But what I really wish I had done, and you could have done this at the last minute, is really just put the stop above this. That way, it's very confusing as to why it's there. And people can easily miss it, or easily ignore it and not run through it. But that's neither here nor there either. Another thing I kind of like about it is, even though I didn't get it to work the way I wanted it to work, I do have the disco theme kind of going on a little bit. You got the lights changing, and you got the floors changing too, the colors of the floor and the light changing. I really wish I could have gotten them on a better cycle other than on player walk, but I didn't really have time to figure out how to do that without it, being chaotic. Because the way I had it at first was I had it in enumerable, but you can't do that on a fixed update. Hey, Eddie in post, real quick, just to say that you can do it in fixed update, but I just didn't want it to go every frame. That was my main issue, and because if it goes every frame, it has a chance of triggering someone's seizure, and that's not what I wanted to do. It was really chaotic, and that's all I'm trying to say. Alright, back to the video. Let's see here. Or actually, no. We're not quite done with the positives just yet. Love that I added a how to play, unlike the last one, which was very confusing. I kept the platforming very simple too. I think that was one thing I really like about this, is that I kept the platforming wasn't nearly as complicated as I was wanting to make it. Like, I had a fast fall, but only because I was planning to have enemies shoot obstacles at you that you need to fast fall through, and that since it's going to record where your location is, it's going to record you falling very fast and rising very fast as well. And so you would want to do that and time that well in order to avoid those obstacles. But again, didn't have time for that. Another thing I really like is, of all the levels I've made, I'm really proud of 6, because it's just it's more complicated than any level I've ever made in a platforming sense. And complicated, not like it's big, but complicated as I made sure I went through 4 or 5 different iterations of it. And this is probably didn't actually take me the longest. I think the one that took me the longest to decide on how to do it was, where is it? This one took me the longest to figure out how to do it, or how to implement it without it being not a challenge, but just not super easy. Because you can easily mess up these jumps here, and there's a ton of different ways to actually accomplish this. But again, it's not complicated. There's 6 levels. I didn't want it to be super hard. I think that's something that I also I think I did really well, is I didn't want this game to be hard yet. If I was gonna expand on it, absolutely. I made it in a way to where if I wanted to expand on this later and make it super difficult, I still could. but I just didn't do it. And this is where we're gonna get into the hard takes. Is I feel like I didn't do it well enough right here. And so I guess now we can get into some of the negatives. But yeah, some of the harder takes, I guess, would be it's too simple, and some of the lighting kind of obscures it. Also, art's not great. It's not good at all. It don't look pretty. It definitely don't look pretty. There's a mishmash of different styles of art, and you can tell what's mine and what isn't mine. Really wish I could have made my own original character for this, but I didn't, because I didn't want to have to animate an asset or draw an asset animated. As you can tell, I started a character, and then I was like, I don't want to do this. I was like, I don't want to do it, and it definitely shows. And then a couple of the assets that I got online, as you can tell, did not work the way I wanted them to. See, look, this when I started it, that wasn't up there. But for whatever reason, it just decides to be whenever it wants to. Also, another gripe I have with myself is that this one isn't entirely my fault, but this is a game that could be web developed, and I have to download it. For whatever reason, Unity WebGL didn't work on Firefox. At least this game didn't. I tried doing it in 2020.2 or in 2020 with the other game, and it worked fine. But for some reason, this game wouldn't, and I think it had something to do with my graphics renderer, or the renderer I used in order to use the lights. So there that is. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to put in a ticket or something and find out why. Because it shows up in Internet Explorer, and that's it, or in Edge, but it doesn't work in Chrome or Firefox, which is why I had to have it downloaded. But I would have preferred it being WebGL. That being said, that definitely makes this kind of a shortcoming of Unity. I really wish I had done this in Godot. But yeah, other than that, other things I couldn't implement, I am not wholly sure what else I can critique. The jumping is meh. The animations are the art is definitely bad. The lights don't activate nearly as well as they should. The concept, I feel like, isn't revolutionary or anything. It definitely matches the theme, but it's not super creative. But yeah, other than that, I think everything else is good. Not great, but okay. Hey, it's Eddie in Post again. Just wanting to add another critique that I thought of while I was rewatching and editing. That I realized that I probably could have made a background song or background music so that when you were playing or you hit the play button on the cassette, it didn't constantly blurt the exact same thing back out at you every time, because it didn't seem old when I was playtesting it, but rewatching it, oh my god, it got on my nerves. So, maybe not having an entire soundtrack do that, but maybe a little blurt would have been better. Alright, back to the video again. Well, hey guys, thank you, for watching me tear down my own content. To be fair, it's not that bad. I feel like if this was like a school project, I feel like if I had gotten an extension and shown my professor what I actually wanted to do, probably would give me an extra 2 or 3 days. But alas, this isn't the world we live in, and honestly, I don't even think it was that bad. But it is what it is. Sometimes sometimes you don't get the amount of time you want to finish a project. That's fine. It's okay to not be 100% all the time. Thank you guys for watching another of these postmortem videos that I made. I might make another, hopefully, in the future. We'll see. I don't know. It depends on how long I work, and when I work, and when the game jams are. So we'll see. Anyway, I forgot to say this in the last video, but I'm a YouTuber now, so like and subscribe, I guess, or something. I don't know. I haven't done this in a long time. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm only on the second video. I don't do whatever.